Well, the Dodgers battle back to get this game into extra innings, but then give up 2 in the top of the 10th and fall a little bit short 4-3.
Yeah, they out-hit the Mets 9-8, but their hits didn't come with men on base very often. So it was a tough one to watch the offense the way they went, especially against a guy making his debut in 2025 in Blackburn. It really, they just didn't get to him. They didn't see him well, and he changed speeds really well.
Clayton Kershaw goes tomorrow, tries to build off of what he's done his first couple.
He's the same team. You know, they had the rain delay against the Mets, only got 2 innings, but he threw the ball well, and that, you know, gave up only 1 hit, 1 walk, but got out of there with zeros. Hopefully he's feeling real good.
All right, as the Dodgers try to even this series up, they now trail the season series against the Mets 3-1, but 3 still to play this week.
I think with Tanner, it's just mislocation. I think that it's, you know, you look at the Alvarez, the Lindor was down, but it was middle. I just think it's just sort of just missing in the big part of the plate or the wrong part of the plate, given a particular hitter. And, you know, my eyes and talking to our pitching guys, the stuff's good. It's just the command just isn't where it needs to be right now.
Do you think it's something we can't improve?
You know, it just seems like if probably so, if the stuff is there and you're not kind of finally commanding the baseball, that certainly does speak to mechanical issues, and it's probably really minute, but obviously making a big difference, because obviously the intent isn't to, you know, go to the middle part of the plate where hitters like to swing the bat.
Obviously, you guys are kind of short-handed in the pen, but has it reached a point with him where he needs a reset or a softer landing spot in some of these games? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's also, you know, we're still trying to win games, and obviously you have to look at who's available and, you know, who can handle leverage and things like that. And I think, you know, to be quite honest, we're relying a lot on 2 rookies. And so you got to give credit to Jack and Ben, but it's the other guys' responsibilities as well, who've been through the trials and had a lot more experience in those 2 players. So I just don't feel it's right to put everything on those 2 young players. I don't.
Do you feel like you have another option in closer?
You know, right now it's kind of how the game, you know, plays out, and you try to get to the 9th inning with the lead. And we came back, fought back in the 9th today, and, you know, and in other games, you have to kind of pick matchups and who's throwing the baseball well and who you believe in and who can kind of manage that situation. And so there's not one particular closer right now, and I think I've shown that, you know, using different guys and leverage and finishing games and things like that. But yeah, right now there is no dedicated closer.
If you're in a safe situation the next couple games and the matchups on paper look favorable for Tanner, would you go to him still, or would you consider?
Yeah, I would. And I think that it's one of those things that sometimes we don't have the luxury always of having a reset for guys, given, you know, the inexperience, the usage of certain guys. But there are guys, you know, there's a few guys that I feel comfortable finishing a game with, though.
Was Mookie available?
Yeah, Mookie was available.
With the pinch hit with Conforto and Smith, kind of how did that play out?
I was just kind of wanting to wait as long as I could to see if they were going to keep Castillo in the game, to potentially give Michael a different matchup with Budo. But at the end of the day, I was going to take my chance on Will getting a hit against a neutral Budo and then Tommy getting a hit.
For as long as Dustin's been here, does it surprise you that he has a career high in starts and innings pitched today?
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's worked hard to get back. He's been very efficient. I think that just the pitch mix has been really good, and I think the last few, Dalton's done a fantastic job with him, and you know he's strong, and so you know there's a lot more in there, and so not terribly surprised, but yeah, it's interesting given his workload over the last couple of years, and I just realized that this is the most he's thrown. So, but I feel he's in a good spot physically.
Offense took a while to get going both the last 2 days. Is there a common thread, Yarbrough and Blackburn?
I think so. Well, I think the common thread is you've got guys that don't throw the ball hard, that pitch backward, that use a breaking ball, change up, cutter, and guys are timed up for velocity. No excuse. You still got to find a way to, hit those guys. And we had some bad at-bats tonight. There were some bad strikeouts and some, but you got to give Blackburn credit for, answering the call. But the last couple nights against starters that you would think on paper, but again, you don't play on paper. I get that. But it was still, we still had our chance tonight.
Kind of jumpstart some things for you guys in the seventh, and then just those last couple innings, the chances you're able to build?
It was a boost certainly, but I think it just goes to guys with plus stuff and good velocity. We just seem to bear down on guys like that.
The passing of a Japanese baseball legend, Shigeo Nagashima's news came right before the game. Have you ever met him?
No, I haven't met him, and I didn't hear this. I didn't hear this news. So, obviously the thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, but I didn't hear that news.
You've had a few of these late losses in the last couple of weeks. Do they sting more, linger longer?
They do. A loss is a loss, but, when you feel that you've done enough to win a game late and then to not come away with it, it stings a little bit more. But we do a good job of being resilient coming back, and we've got Clayton coming off a decent outing in Cleveland. So I still like where our pen is at. I still like where our offense is at in totality. Mookie will be back in there tomorrow. So, like most days, I feel good about that particular day winning.
Carlos, first of all, what's the concern with Vientos and the hamstring?
Yeah, I was just there in the training room. He's getting looked at by our trainers. He's the hamstring, obviously. Didn't look good. So, again, like I said, he's going through all the testing, and we got to wait and see.
What impressed you the most about Blackburn tonight?
Yeah, he was really good. I thought attacked the zone, used all of his pitches. I thought the cutter was good, the sinker was good against righties, the changeup kept those guys off balance, guessing. He was pitch efficient, to be honest with you. Obviously, we didn't make a play that extended that inning in the fifth inning. But overall, against a pretty good lineup, obviously, for him to be out there for the first time after, so much time that he missed, unbelievable job there.
How big was that for Alvarez to get a hard hit there to the opposite field?
Yeah, I feel like he's been taking a lot better swings as of late. The past few games, I feel like he's getting on time. He's got some rhythm. He's recognizing pitches a lot better. So I think he's making progress, and it was good to see him obviously coming through the right there against a pretty good pitcher on Scott. We running at second base, not only going the other way, but driving the ball with authority.
What were those last couple of innings like for you? It seemed you had the game pretty secure, and then they came back on.
Well, I don't know about securing against a lineup like that. You never feel, like until you get that last out, that's a pretty good lineup, pretty good team, and they're, whether it's kind of like the same way we feel with our offense. Guy gets on, and before you know it, the tying run is at home plate, and you feel good about your chances. They got to be feeling the same way, and that's why you got to play all 27, and got to keep competing. And then we went to extras today, and I'm glad we were able to cross those two to home plate. So.
Is there a specific approach your pitchers have been taking the last 3 games, and then you allowed the 6 runs to the Dodgers?
Not really. Just sticking to our strength. Obviously, they're good hitters. We're playing. You're making some good defensive plays. We're just executing. But again, they're good. But we also, got some guys that, are attacking the zone, are limiting damage. So I feel good with where we're at.
What made Dustin May so tough?
Yeah, obviously he's got the sinker. The sweeper was good, especially backdoors to lefties. I don't think he threw that cutter that he's been. I thought he threw a few of them his last outing, but today it was more a couple of 4 seams at the top. But I think the sweeper was his pitch today.
Carlos, if Vientos does miss time, is Mauricio someone you could consider, or is it physically not there yet?
Well, I got to I got to talk to David here. I just got back from the training room, and we'll have those conversations.
With Blackburn, I know it is just immediately after the game, but what's the plan now for him moving forward?
Yeah, so we got to wait and see, but there's a good chance he'll go back to the bullpen for now, and then we'll go from there.
What do you think about what you've been seeing from Lindor at the plate these last few games?
Yeah, driving the ball to all field, especially going the other way. When he's doing that, I think I said it a couple of days ago, every time he goes the other way with authority is a good sign, and we saw it again today. They try to come in, and he's able to pull the ball to lead off the game. He's a good hitter, man.
Why did you like Rudo in that spot at the end?
How do I like it?
So why did you like it?
Well, I just want, once they have the righties ready, I thought I was going to go. That's why he was getting loose, because after the 3 batters there for Castillo, I was going to have a righty ready for a potential pinch hit, which they did.
But you not use Diaz for 2 innings. You're guarding against any.
No, he was 3 out of 4 today, so no.
And Castillo was a choice because of the lefty.
Yeah, and we're down to Castillo and Burro there. Gary was unavailable today, so I just thought getting 2 out of 3 batters, 3 lefties. I mean, two out of 3 lefties, and then had the righty ready in case they pinch hit, and I'm glad they came through.
Did you believe that Dave was not going to pinch hit for Conforto there? It took him a second.
Well, when you look at the numbers, Conforto against lefty this year, he's been actually better, So I wasn't surprised, but then he decided, and that's why I have Burro there. But I wasn't surprised at all.
Before that Ohtani at bat, you came out and had a pretty extensive meeting with everybody, not just Diaz. What were you trying to get across there?
I was just trying to go through pretty much every scenario, where the infielders, whether we want to throw through, what we were going to do with the ball, if it was hit in the infield with a plus runner at the plate, obviously, telling Diaz, the base was still open, but you like your chances with Diaz there. So there was a lot of scenarios there that I was going through, and that's what I meant the mound visit.
Did you not play double play depth just because he's so fast?
Yeah, no, and I got my closer there. I'm going for the win. So, and it's tough. When you got Ohtani who gets down the line, it's not going to be easy to turn a double play. So I was just trying to cut that runner going from third base.
No team has a better record over the last calendar year than you guys. Years on, seasons change from year to year. What has this team been able to carry over from 2024 to 2025?
The fight, resilience, the grit. They're grinding. It's a group that continues to fight. We went through a lot of adversity, and every team's gonna go through adversity. And I feel like we're playing well now, but we got a long ways to go. But I feel like this group is been tested before, and I just feel like not only we got really good players, but they push each other, they prepare, and they're not afraid to hold each other accountable.
How big of a series is your team looking at this one here with 4 games here?
Yeah, look, I mean, we know they're good, but it's still June. We come here with the mentality to win a series. It's not like we're looking at the calendar and looking at this specific series. We're playing the team is in front of us. We're here, and like I said, our job is to try and win a series here.
How about Lindor setting the tone there, 6th leadoff home run of the year?
Yeah, pretty impressive. Really good player, swinging the bat the way he's doing it now. And when he goes, pretty much everyone goes. Then really good at batting extras there from the right side on that double to add on. I thought, that play up the middle, the diving play, keeping the ball in the infield before the Ohtani at bat, that was huge there too. So, again, great player, and, I'm glad he's on our team.